So there's been a decent amount of people last year or two that have started bringing up that Native American culture pretty much has no cuisine of its own. And of course there's an excuse out because the whites, whatever. But if you look at them, they look like tribal members, which I've met fair amount from the Seminole. There's a big effort to just embrace the supposed culture, or whatever. After running casinos, right, making that buck. But yeah, it's kind of bizarre how there's no cuisine, and I haven't looked too much into it, but from what I can tell, what these people are bringing up, how it's kind of fishy, how they have no cuisine, and they also have no vocabulary. Like, it appears that at least these researchers, the American, supposedly Native American tribes, there's 20 words for a lot of them. They're the only words that are ever said. Another thing too, say with the Native African American people, we're told they were slaves that worked the fields. So it's dawned on me last time, well, how come it appears like none of them know anything about gardening? I mean, especially if they worked the land and planted and all that, and you would think, especially when they started getting their freedom, they would just say bug out, stay in the wilderness, grow shit, right? Instead of going through a system that was supposedly suppressing them. More and more on every level, it seems that undoing yourself with energized meditation and other devices, Non-Book by Christopher S. Hyatt, he brought up towards the end how just the concept of history, it wouldn't be that hard to basically take that history but flip everything upside down and pass it off as the past. At least for ones of my type, the moral codes, I'm re-listening to Zarathustra, this book Zarathustra now. Yeah, that's everything we were taught growing up. It was, at least for me, it's pretty, generally speaking, in the exact opposite of things. Say selfishness. You're more focused on your well-being, and then you have vibrant, powerful energy, which inspires others or whatever. If more people, more people are still acting selfish, but doing it in an indirect way by getting in other people's business. If they're concerned about themselves, there'd be far less BS going around. People getting other people's business way too much, myself included. It's been a process getting out of being of this world that really seems like it's the world we're coming out of. It's we're almost to some sort of point where the game for the new world will begin fully. But say my writings or whatever, and my epiphanies, I share them with a lot of people. At first I try to wake people up, and which is a fool's errand. Often I still kind of send it out still, just as a way for me to vibrate out to the universe. Also, it's from loneliness, and also a way to gather my thoughts too. Just kind of write them down and then send them out. Like, cause seems there's so few that are like me, at least I've come across. So just like writing them down and just saving them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't know. You know, I don't know about publishing it because there's I don't know how many people would read it because they're just most people are not that type. Anyways, so yeah, back on history, how everything possibly was just flipped in reverse. So the Native Americans, who are a lot of tribes that are making a lot of money, they have it set up where they can, you know, casinos. Here in South Florida, you see the Seminole tribe over down to the south. They had this white light that, I mean, I can see even from here, it's like, I don't know, like 30 miles. White light shoots up and it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like a middle finger, you know? And the African Americans, how, generally speaking, like none of them know anything about farming or gardening. It's very strange. But the people that usually do know about farming, gardening are whites, and people that are like really into nature are whites. So, say what's credited to the Native Americans and the Africans or whatever, it could be the exact opposite. Another thought I had too is what we're told about the Crusades. You know, often to demonize the Europeans. That time frame, the Crusades, where goeth the cross, goeth the sword, right? Middle East conflict, or whatever. Maybe that did happen, maybe it didn't. And the way, actually, like the story is told anyways, it was a means of self-defense against Islam, which, by the word Islam means to serve. But that time, there was a crusade going on, and it was on the Europeans. The spread of Christianity, you know, they had us so focused on spread of Christianity was against the East. No, it was against Europe and traveling north. They say, say the Latvians, which I'm half Latvian, were the last pagans. So see, it was in reverse. The way what we were taught, it demonized Europeans because they are spreading Christianity. No. The demon of Christianity was spreading into the Europeans. Exact opposite. On the topic of war, I've never been in war, but I had a lot of friends that been in, talked to them about it. They say in war, like everything in life is fivefold. You know, if you love your brothers in arms, the love you experience in warfare is at least 5 times as much as in normal life. Fear, excitement. And I just thought yesterday, and I think it could be applied to possibly other things. Those that come from PTSD and warfare. Now, like I said, I've never been in war, but I used to, 12 years, do marine towing and salvage down in Miami, where all the crazy shit happens. And it is extremely dangerous, but it's also extremely exciting. No matter how long you do it, when that mayday call first goes up, your heart starts pounding and you get like a little... Me, I created a mantra: just get there as quick as you can, do it as much as you can, do it as quick as you can. And the mantra helped focus and channel the energies. But say the PTSD, when you're going through those situations in war, you do, in those shit situations, you do feel the most alive. Just, But at the same time though too, you're going through stress. And when you come back to the normal life, you're lacking the most alive feeling, which is also associated with stress. Now, it seems to me like, say, those that came out of war or still participate in some war. Like I have friends that are mercenaries and shit now after doing the Army Rangers. The ones that seem to be okay are the ones that somehow, say after they get done serving the military, still do on some sort of level participate in some extreme shit. Whether it be like extreme sports or just like shooting or hunting. So that I think it's a possible avenue there to actually cure or not or help assist PTSD is get those that have, whether it be warfare or something else, get them into something that makes them feel like vibrant, something extreme. Because you know what I'm saying? It's like they're awoken to life, but at the same time that awokenness is tied in with the experience of extreme stress. So I don't know. I kind of maybe belongingness too. Like say a lot of my situation. As a little kid to belong, because when your parents are God, tied in with, just the shit that we were taught. It's fucking total nonsense. Maybe one day, one of the things I'll do is create like a school for the few. I don't know how I recruit whatever, but the boys that are extreme, that will, the higher being type, instead of like what has been taught and what's being taught is more degenerate, kind of modeled after the model towards the Superman, towards Zarathustra. I mean, like, re-listening to Thus Spoke Zarathustra now, one of the things that came to mind is, I wonder what it would have been like if I was, say, taught, like, in that framework, instead of, say, also with the framework of the church, which is for a demon. What will sustain, say, a demon is not angel food. And for an angel, what will sustain an angel is not demon food.